start by sharing this map and talking a little bit about the area that we cover, especially having some visitors from, I think you said Alberta, maybe not familiar, but Confederation College has 8 campuses, including Thunder Bay, which is our main campus, but we also have 7 regional campuses in the communities that are pictured here on the screen. So we serve a large geographical area, and this area includes 88 Indigenous communities as well, which again ties back to what we both just said about the importance of Indigenous reconciliation and honoring those relationships. In addition to having students from Northwestern Ontario, we might also see students from anywhere across Canada in our distance education programming. And that's kind of a piece that's tied in with us. We kind of focus on regional campuses and distance education kind of being as one big part of the college and our programming. And we use, as it says at the top of the slide here, flexible technology-enabled learning in order to grab people, so to say, from this large geographical area and pull them together into a cohort of learners to allow us to deliver more than 25 different programs through our regional campuses and through distance education. So even before COVID hit, we were doing online technology-enabled learning. And the words online learning can mean so many different things nowadays. A lot of times people think about more of the independent study type online learning, but a lot of what we do, not all, but a lot of what we do is live online, is what we would call it, or sometimes people refer to it as synchronous versus asynchronous. So live online classes where, for example, our practical nursing students are signing in every Monday morning between 8:30 and 11:30, and they're doing their personal growth class. And they do that on a routine basis for the 14-week semester. So they always have an opportunity to use microphones, use webcams. The teachers can put them into virtual breakout rooms. It's very interactive and meant to be very engaging, not meant to be a turn on your computer and listen to a lecture. So we've been doing that for a long time, even pre-COVID. So we really think we handled COVID well as a result of that. This slide shows some of the different programs all of the different programs right now that we have available through the Lake of the Woods campus, which is what we call our Kenora campus. And you can see the different sectors and areas in which we have post-secondary certificate, which is 1 year, and diploma programs primarily. Now, some of our Indigenous study courses and some of our courses are sometimes taken by people within the community as a part-time professional development type of course. There's always that option to do that. And we also do what we sometimes call contract training, where we might have a particular agency or First Nation community come to us with a particular need, and we deliver programming specific to them, sometimes just as a one-off kind of thing to meet their needs as well. Here are some of the programs where we specifically have worked with, the organizations and the businesses within our community to help them to meet their human resource needs. And that's a big piece of what we and all Ontario colleges focus is, to help train to meet the human resource needs of the agencies and businesses within our communities. So you'll see the first 4 being specifically tied to healthcare. So we do a Bachelor of Science in Nursing program right now. We are doing it collaboratively with Lakehead University. We just not too long ago, the colleges have been given permission to do 4-year nursing programs on their own now. So that is something we'll work towards. Practical nursing is our 2-year program, personal support worker, primarily with long-term care, but we also help with supportive housing, helping in supportive housing units within the community too, like our Benedictson Court, our Gardner and Parkview apartments, as well as other seniors who might live in their homes or other people who need assistive living care as well. Paramedics, we're always hearing from the District Services Board the demand for paramedics. And maybe I'll also mention that our nursing and our paramedic programs are ones where we do sometimes get folks who come from out of town to take these programs. And they are competitive programs. And so sometimes they're, we may have seats available. We get folks coming from Southern Ontario. I've got one coming into nursing this fall. We also have seen a number of students come from Manitoba, where it's a little more challenging to get into the new 2-year nursing program over there. So we do sometimes see folks come from out of town, which is great. We have worked with the District Services Board, who covers our daycares as well as our school boards. A couple of years ago, we did special recruitment with them for early childhood education and the educational assistant programs, as they were in need of students graduating from those programs, and that was a really good partnership. And we often see our graduates from our social service worker program and Native Child and Family Services program get scooped up really quickly at different community service type agencies and Indigenous agencies that are in our communities. I'm going to talk about the Native Child and Family Services program. Has just gone through renewal, and it's one that we're quite proud of, and I'll talk about that a little bit further through the presentation. A couple of new programs are listed here on the screen that we have offered in the region this year. One thing, again, that COVID has helped a little bit with is that some of the programming in Thunder Bay, at our Thunder Bay campus, which is our main campus, where there are 58 different program options, they've realized that they can partner with us and deliver some of the programming to a larger audience after having gone through converting everything to online for COVID. So our community integration through cooperative education program, we've just had our first graduates from that program this past June. And that is a program that is often has our developmentally challenged students attending. They're learning life skills, personal skill building, healthy lifestyles, transitioning to college, transitioning to work and community. It is a 2-year college diploma program in which they're supported on campus with an integration facilitator, which is much like an educational assistant, perhaps in the high schools. So we're looking forward to welcoming 4 new students into that program. And when we first reached out to Kelly about sharing, we thought it might be more around that specifics around that program, but we've already gotten our full intake for that program. So that's great. We're really excited to have 4 new students coming and start participating this fall. Health Informatics is a program that targets statistical data and analyzing and using statistical data in the healthcare field. So that's one we've kind of heard about from some of our healthcare providers as well, that there was need for that in our regional campus areas, as well as the medical lab assistant. That's a really new program. We have 2 students that are coming to do the program here in Kenora. It does require partnership with our hospital in allowing some of the labs to be done there where they have the specialized equipment, and also staff that are trained and can act as our instructors, as well as students will have to go to the Thunder Bay campus for a couple of weeks for some of the lab work there. But there again, a committee that's connected with all the regional hospitals has kind of come together and said what specific training and what specific needs they have in their human resource pool. And we've been trying to see how we can make things work to partner with them, even if it does require, like we say, some of their lab equipment and some bit of travel to the Thunder Bay campus where we have all the right equipment that's needed. Anachigewan Indigenous Services is the new version of our Native Child and Family Service Worker program. And I'm going to show you a little video clip a little bit later through the presentation on that one. But these are some of the new programs that we have been able to offer for the upcoming fall. This slide really overviews the entire college, so including our Thunder Bay campus, showing our learners that we've had in 2019-20. So this is kind of some pre-COVID data. We had over 7,700 full-time and part-time students. Over 1,100 students identified themselves as Indigenous, which we have a self-identification option for students to make. We had 1,700 plus international students. And again, there's over 58 full-time programs, including our Thunder Bay campuses, about 25 that we deliver currently at the regional campuses. So with COVID came, of course, some restrictions on international students. And generally speaking, in Ontario, the number of grade 12 graduates has been on the decline for a while and continues to be forecasted to be on the decline. And all colleges in Ontario have been supplementing their domestic numbers with international enrollment. But of course, with COVID, there were some challenges with students coming to Canada. That's opening up a bit more and more. We are hoping to have 3 students from the Philippines come to Kenora and study in our personal support worker program. They're still waiting on finalizations around their visas to ensure that they can do that, but that's in the plan at the moment. And there are some, I think it's 5 practical nursing students expected to study in Fort Frances. So there were some ease of requirements that the government put in place as well this last year, allowing some international students to study with a live online delivery from home, and make plans to come hopefully this year for some programs where they could sort of postpone some of the hands-on pieces that need to be done. So we'll see what happens. Like everybody else, it's kind of one day at a time and changing and reacting to whatever kind of updates and things come through. As of right now, we are planning to have a few more students on campus this fall. We do have, for all our theory-based program, always have had in the past the option for students to come and attend in person on campus or from home, whichever they chose. Last year, we primarily just had our hands-on labs, so our paramedic fitness class, paramedic and practical nursing labs, and our community integration through cooperative education students on campus. That was about it. This year, we're hoping to, well, we're planning for sure for the fall that we're going to expand that to also include those students in those programs for every class. So in the past, they could only come basically for their lab and fitness. Now they'll be able to come and participate in classes on campus this fall for any class that they might have, those that are in that program. And we've always had it open that students, if they had any issues with not having reliable internet, that we were able to make accommodations and have them come on campus. We had strict COVID protocols in place around with including screening process and wearing of masks and sanitizing and all that kind of good stuff as well. But we're hoping to even have a few more around this fall and to see it increase more and more, hopefully, as things move forward. And of course, based upon all our guidelines and recommendations that come through the health unit and the other governmental bodies that kind of let us know what we can and cannot do. Do we have any Confederation College alumni on today? Is anybody an alumni? Not hearing anything. Okay, so likely not. We do have 52,000 alumni, and we really do like to draw them out and bring them together and have them help to promote our programming as well. You can see some of the regional economic impact numbers that are there. The bottom circles there identifying our graduate satisfaction, employment rate, and some of our student satisfaction as they were with us. And those are what we call our key performance indicator numbers. And I don't think we did them this past year because of COVID, but we do look at those and are proud of those numbers, and they help guide what we do. So we're grateful to share those and for those numbers. The next slides are going to talk a little bit about our strategic plan. So in 2020, we introduced a new 5-year strategic plan, Ka Ano Katikin, And I'm going to share with you a few things from that strategic plan. And that word means work that is now carried. So here are our mission, our vision, and our Naganowan vision. And we haven't really changed the mission and vision, inspiring students to succeed in their lives and their careers and enriching lives through learning. Those have been pretty core to the college for quite some time now. We have added our Naganowan vision, and we have a Naganowan Council, a group of Indigenous educators who created this vision, and along with input from a number of people, they guide us in their work, and their vision is also quite strategic to what we do. The realization of this vision through our work together on reconciliation and renewed relationships with Indigenous people, we believe will allow us to be partners in change, specifically in education. So our strategic plan has 4 different pillars: access and success, Indigenous learning, institutional excellence, and community prosperity. And I'll just talk through each of those. So access and success, we hear from so many of our students at the regional campuses that without us, they wouldn't be getting post-secondary education. That the bulk of the students who come here would not have the option to pack up and move somewhere and go take a year away or 2 years away to complete post-secondary education. So we do really believe that it's important that we're here and continue to be here and can provide that access to education for people who can't leave home. Most of our programs that we deliver, with the exception of the healthcare programs, do have grade 12 or the equivalent as eligibility criteria. So that really ties into our access and the programs being accessible. We do have a few programs that eligibility criteria is 19 years of age or older. So sometimes students who haven't been successful in high school, going back to high school and continuing to work on high school stuff isn't always the best route. Sometimes, you know, if they can move forward in a program like College Access or a general arts and science program, it gives them greater confidence than continuing to sometimes plug away at the grade 12. I talked a little bit already about our live online delivery, and that we've been doing that pre-COVID, that we feel like we're experts in this form of delivery. We offer student success advisors at all of our regional campuses, and they're available to meet with students and support students to offer one-on-one support. We have tutoring and peer mentoring available to help students, especially new students, and that's all free of charge. We've got specific orientation platforms that are some new things that we've developed over the last year to help students with some of the online pieces if they're not physically coming on campus to get assistance one-on-one. We've had live sessions where we've set up to meet with students to support them prior to them beginning school, and we'll be doing that again soon. And we really believe in supporting students holistically. We offer counseling, a number of connections to community resources if they aren't available within our regional campuses of the college. We're one of a few Ontario colleges that have a mental health and well-being strategy. We really have surveyed our students, and we understand that it's a very big piece of our students' lives, and we were surprised at the large percentage of students that struggled with anything from depression and anxiety, you know, to even more acute mental health type of problems. So we put this strategy in place to support students. We have a regional counselor who pre-COVID would come out and physically visit the campuses about once a month and do online counseling with our students from Thunder Bay in between times in which he or she is here on campus with them. We provide some financial support through awards and bursaries, over $400,000 most years. And here in Kenora, we've had a local scholarship golf tournament, which unfortunately we have not had the last 2 years. but we hope that that will come back. We would raise about $10,000 in funds each year, and that would help a great deal with students to be able to focus on their studies and not have to worry as much about part-time work at the same time. We really heard from students as to how much that was really appreciated. Just some numbers here, full-time post-secondary enrollment with our regional campuses and distance ed, and this is the fall semesters. We do sometimes have programs that have intakes in the winter, but generally our programs start in September. We do usually have about 4 or 5 starts every January as well. So the numbers have gone down a little bit the last couple of years, and again, we're kind of just starting to bring international students into the regional campus fold. So we hope to see that those numbers go up a little bit here too as we go forward. Another sort of form of access is our dual credit programming, and I'm not sure if people are familiar with that, but that's where high school students get an opportunity to earn a high school and a college credit at the same time by taking a college course. So we've been able to do high school age programming as well as adults with the Keewatin and Patricia District School Board and some of their adult ed programs. With COVID, this opened up opportunities for us to deliver some programming this past year school board wide. So we might promote a course like developmental psychology online, again, but the live online format, where students across the Keewatin and Patricia District School Board, which would include Kenora, Red Lake, Sioux Lookout, Dryden, Ignace, that students across that vast area could take a dual credit altogether. The other thing that's kind of unique in Kenora is that we have some programs where we tie together both the public board and the Catholic board. So we've had a couple of programs where Keewatin and Patricia District School Board and Kenora Catholic have come together and both put students in. We do have minimum numbers of students that we have to have in order to make these programs run. And so in some of the smaller communities, really by bringing the students together from the 2 different boards or across the whole school board, have opened up opportunities to be able to do additional programming. So I've listed some of the different courses there that we have done. In the past, we've been very proud of a construction program that we've done. The construction program always happened in the winter semester, and usually it would be grade 12 students who have all their other courses completed for graduation. They would get 2 college credits, taking 2 different courses related to the construction field. And in addition to doing the 2 courses and gaining some skills, they would also take some certificates. So things like first aid, CPR, chainsaw, safety training, fall arrest, working at heights, some of those types of courses. And then once they finished their dual credits, they would go out onto co-op to finish the remainder of their semester. And we saw a lot of great success with students going from co-op to summer employment and summer employment to even full-time employment for grade 12 students. And even especially in some of those areas of trades where they would become apprentices and then work through that apprenticeship program and become journey persons within some of the skilled trades. So those were some great successes that we've seen. And I know Beaver Brae is really good at posting some videos and things related to those. We did a similar program with tourism. And again, that was another one where we brought both boards together and had students doing some tourism courses and again, doing certificate training like Smart Serve, safe food handling, and then be able to go out into restaurants or some tourist camps and do co-ops, and then again take on summer employment roles. So it's been really good to see that. And these programs are also targeted at what we would identify as at-risk students in some cases, and really giving them an opportunity to gain some confidence and seeing that they can handle a college course with some extra supports in the dual credit programming, and then hopefully encourage them to think about post-secondary education when they're finished with high school. Our second pillar is Indigenous Learning. And again, we've talked a bit about some of these things, but the college has undergone a systemic racism review, and we're now acting upon recommendations that have come out of that, including having a diversity, equity, and Indigenous lens that is kind of a structure for everything we do, a specific lens in which we look at things as we move forward with the college with new things and review things, policies and procedures. We have an equity and human rights advisor position that is now established. And we have an Aganawan education strategy, and that again is trying to educate all of our folks, our students, our staff, our faculty, in a bit more of the items around Indigenous culture. And we have a 4 Seasons to Reconciliation, which is a really great online tool that's mandatory staff training for everybody now. And we also embed Indigenous learning outcomes in all of our programs. And we have 7 Indigenous learning outcomes. I'm just going to read you a couple of them to get an idea. So these would be specific outcomes that are tied into courses that are part of our programs. So relating principles of Indigenous knowledge to the career field, analyzing the impact of colonialism on Indigenous communities, analyzing racism in relation to Indigenous peoples, formulating approaches for engaging Indigenous community partners. So those are, I think, 4 or 5 of the 7. But they're a piece of everything we do, and we believe that graduates that will likely be working and living in Northwestern Ontario, that's really important for them to know and understand. Pillar number 3 is institutional excellence. And we want to be representative of an organization that is progressive and is of excellence. A couple things around regional campuses. We've had some relocations and some updates. The North Shore campus in Marathon had a move recently, as well as the Greenstone. And Sioux Lookout partnered with Kuwait and Patricia District School Board in the high school move, and has a fairly new campus. Been open a couple of years now, but those have been some of our bigger updates. We've also taken advantage of COVID and done some updates at some of the campuses when we've had less traffic on campus. Some computer lab upgrades. Here in Kenora, we've had some washroom renovations, and including the addition of a gender inclusive washroom, flooring being replaced, and desks and chairs, as well as new paint and that kind of thing. So we're happy to have been able to do that during the quiet time. The Thunder Bay campus and the Kenora campus are the only standalone buildings or facilities. So they were involved in the energy retrofit projects. The other campuses are all partnered with other agencies and within other facilities. Community prosperity is the last pillar. And we really are looking to enrich the quality of life, prosperity, and sustainability in the communities in which we live and work. And students are a big part of that. They do a lot of applied learning, placements, and co-ops within our different organizations and businesses and agencies. They are part-time employees for other businesses while going to school, and then of course fulfill human resource vacancies in the communities after they are trained.